this area of the Bella Vista, you've already experienced it at another stop. This is a fairly warm area for this far north in the Okanagan. We're right at the north end of Okanagan Lake, so essentially the end of the fruit growing area. When you go north from here, you lose any moderating influence from the lake, and so the risk of winter temperatures and so on is skyrockets, and so there's very little tree fruit or vegetable production once you move north of here, even a very few kilometers. So this is the tail end of the apple growing area, but it's not the bad end. So this slope that we're on is south facing, it's very warm, and so we're able to grow a lot of different crops here because of the location. It's very much a microclimate, and when you walk out and you look around the North Okanagan just across the valley, you'll see there's a lot of evergreens on the hillsides, just to give you an idea about the microclimates and what the difference they make. If you look on the hill above our farm, it's just sagebrush. So this is a little spot that's hotter and drier than the rest of the North Okanagan, and it has an impact on what we grow, of course. Kind of a funny place to have a direct marketing operation. We're on a dead-end road away from the highway in an area that doesn't have much population. So the key to all this is to marry well. So when you're direct marketing, you find out that's quite important. So my wife couldn't grow a house plant, but she understands marketing, and she understands atmosphere and what it takes to get people here. So we have about 250,000 visitors in a 6-month season here at our farm. We very much a family farm. Our target audience that we're trying to attract here is families, but it's a family operation. So 3 generations that are working together. My dad's is the 2nd generation to be on the farm. My kids are the 4th. So it's fun to be able to work together, and we could talk for a few hours about family issues and relationships when you're working together, but it's an important part of our family business for sure. We don't take it for granted. We make lots of jokes about it, but to be able to have my dad and my grandson out in the orchard together is a real privilege, and we understand that, and we appreciate it very much, and don't take it for granted. I think one of the keys, we're not going to be able to talk about family relationships very long, but I think one of the keys is we have a very open family, we have very open discussions, and people that are, the family is all working in different areas of the farm. There's overlap, of course, but it's really important that we're not stepping on each other's toes excessively, and that people understand what area they're responsible for. We grow about 100 acres of crop, and about not quite half of it is vegetables, but close to half of it is vegetables. This is tomato planting. We grow them in our transplants ourselves and put them out in the spring here. As you can see on the black plastic, everything's trickle irrigated. A wide range of different crops. They were planting tomatoes, watermelon, peppers, squash, and all these kinds of things. And it just all is contributing to keeping us have as big as array of crops for sale that we can. And we do buy some crops and bring them in to sell, but we want to grow as much as we possibly can ourselves. So nothing, dramatically different than you don't see everywhere else, except that we're trying to do it all ourselves, which creates its own management nightmares. When you have a half an acre of this and an acre half of that, it just drives you nuts. But when you get to the fall and you sit down after the season's over and you go through the numbers and think, those were really a pain in the neck, but actually it was a pretty good contributor on that small piece of land. So anyway, tree fruits is the biggest part of our production, and again, we're fairly diversified there. Peaches and pears, and of course apples is the main crop. We actually grow 20 varieties of apples, so that in itself is a bit of a challenge. Lots of hillsides. Our plantings are very basic, 12 by 4, 12 by 5 with a spindle type of tree. We've tried to keep them very short because of the hillsides and because we do some U-pick, so we try to do everything from the ground. It doesn't give us the highest production, but it's part of it is ease of management in light of everything else we're trying to keep up with, and it works. We have another planting we're putting in a different location where we're not going to be worried about U-pick and that type of thing. And so that planting is going in this spring, and it'll be a tall spindle, you know, that will be a little more efficient and a higher production, I hope. But this is the type of thing, and like I say, with 20 different varieties, you've got the management commotion that goes along with that. But it's part of what we're known for on the marketing side, is when people come up, you know, in the fall, there's going to be a lot of different varieties of apples for them to choose from.